Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. So for this lesson we're going to be looking at averages, and in particular the learning objectives are to find the mean and mode of a small set of data. So a question for you, what springs to mind when you think of the word average? So we hear the word average a lot in day-to-day life, and you may see it used in the news. So you may think how it means usual, typical, ordinary, most common, or what's expected. You may hear people saying, oh, that's above average or below average. You may hear data that shows what the average salary is. So you tend to see the word average. And when you see that, they tend to be speaking about the mean. Okay, so when you hear it in day-to-day life, they tend to be speaking about the mathematical mean. But there are actually three types of averages, and those are the mean, the median, and the mode. Now, you may be thinking how when you did work on averages in year 7, 8, or 9, you also worked out the range. Now, the range is not an average, and it's very important for your GCSE that you remember that. So the range is not an average. There are just three types of averages, and notice how they all start with the letter M. So that's a way of remembering. So mean, median, mode, they are averages. The range, which starts with an R, is not a type of average. Okay, so firstly we're going to look at the mean. So here we have an example. This is a GCSE question where you would be allowed a calculator. So two groups of 6 people took part in a quiz. The 6 members of group A gained the following scores. So we've got 52, 29, 78, 56, 24, 37. Calculate the mean score per person, and there's 3 marks allocated to this. So you will need a calculator. And when we think about working out an average or the mean, then we want one number that's going to represent this data set. So to work out the mean, what you need to do is, first of all, we have to add up all of these numbers that are in the data set here. Okay, so I always think the mean is the nasty one because we have to do quite a few calculations to work it out. So think about mean being nasty. And as I said, you are allowed a calculator. So first of all, we'll be adding those up, and then you divide by however many there are. So here there are 6 people. So we're going to be dividing by 6 because there are 6 numbers there. And the answer that we get is 46. So let's look at the marking scheme. So there's 3 marks for this answer here then, for this question. So you can see that there's 2 method marks and 1 mark for your answer. So first of all, for adding these numbers together, you can see, and for showing your workings that you're adding them together, or then for that getting that 276, you get your first mark. Then for doing 276 divided by 6, that's this answer here, you get your second method mark. And then for the answer of 46, we get the 3rd mark. So that's where the marks are allocated in your GCSE when answering a question on mean. Let's look at a few more examples. So here we're asked to find the mean of each set of data. So let's look at question 1. Remember, the mean is the nasty one, where we have to add up the numbers that are in the data set and then divide by however many numbers there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers here. Remember to show your workings. So this is going to be 40 divided by 5, which gives you a mean of 8. So the answer for that one is 8. Question 2. So remember, in your GCSE there's 3 marks allocated to this. So the first mark is for adding the numbers together when working out the mean. So it's the nasty one where we have to add all the numbers, divide by however many there are. So in this there's 2, 4, 6, 8 numbers. You can use your calculator to do so. So this is going to be 128 divided by 8, which gives you a mean of 16 for that. Let's take a moment then just to recap on what we've learnt so far. So we've been working out the mean So to do that, remember it's a nasty one where we have to do a few calculations. You have to find the total of the numbers in the data set, and then we divide that total by however many numbers there are. So that's how we find the mean. And then remember that an average is a number to represent the set of data. So it tends to go with the trend of the numbers that are there. And there are three types of averages. Those are mean, median and mode. And then the range is not an average. It's actually a measure of spread. But that's something that we look at next lesson. Okay, so one thing I'd also like us to look at is how you can have strange results from the mean. So let's look at this example. A teacher and 6 pupils are on a school trip. Here are their ages: 11, 11, 58, 12, 11, 12, 11. So these are your 7 pupils. You've got 6 of them that are between the ages of 11 and 12. And then we've got a teacher that is 58 years old. Now, they want you to work out the mean. So let's go ahead and do that for a moment, and then we'll speak about these results. So how do we work out the mean? We add these numbers together, and then we divide by however many there are. So there's 7 people on this trip. So that's going to be 126 divided by 7. Use your calculator, and that gives us a mean age of 15 years. Okay, now remember, I just mentioned how an average is a number to represent the set of data. Now what's happened here is that really all of these people here, it's not on average that they are 18 years old. The majority of them are either 11 or 12 years old. But this teacher here, as he or she is 58 years old, they are an anomaly to the set of the data. They don't quite go with the trend of it. And that's caused the mean then to be distorted. As they are a lot older, they've caused that mean age to be a lot higher than what it should be. You would expect it to be either 11 or 12 years old. Okay, so here's a GCSE past paper question. I'd like you now to try this question out for me, please, as an exercise. So if you get yourselves a piece of paper and a pen, and you will also need a calculator, write this question out, pause this video, try and answer the question, and then when you're ready to mark your answer, press play, and I'll be going through the answer with you. Okay, let's go through this answer then. So make sure that you do read the question. So here are 9 numbers: 27, 19, 20, 32, 21, 29, 20, 24 and 33. And this question is asking us to find the mean. So that keyword is the mean of these numbers. So remember, to work out the mean, it's 3 marks. So we must show our workings. So first of all, we add the numbers together. Remember to show your workings. And then we divide. Okay, let's practice the skills that we've learnt so far when working out the mean with some GCSE past paper questions. Now, these past paper questions are typical maths GCSE questions, but the topic of averages also comes up in your numeracy GCSE. So what I'd like you to do is get yourselves a pen and paper. You'll also need a calculator for this, and I'd like you to write out the question. Remember, there are 3 marks up for grabs here, so you need to be showing your workings. Pause the video, work through the answer, and then when you're ready to mark your answer, press play, and I'll be going through the answers with you. Okay, let's go through the answers then. So the question says here are 9 numbers, and it wants you to find the mean of these numbers, 3 marks. So to find the mean, remember that what you need to do first is add up the numbers in the data set. So we're going to have all of these added together. And we will divide the sum of those numbers by however many numbers there are. And here there are 9 numbers altogether. So type in that into your calculator. You will get 225 divided by 9, which gives a mean of 25. So remember, where are those 3 marks? You get 1 mark for adding those together, so for either for showing your workings that you added them or then for that 25. 1 mark then for doing 225 divided by the 9, and then your final mark is for your answer of the mean. Hopefully you gained all 3 marks in that question. Here's another similar question for you to practice with. So again, if you can pause the video, try out the question, and then when you're ready to mark your answer, press play and I'll be going through the answers with you. Here we go then. So by now hopefully you should know that the mean, to work out the mean, we add all the numbers in the data set together, making sure that we show our workings to gain all 3 marks. We divide the sum of those numbers by however many numbers there are, so in this case there's 8. We use a calculator to add them up, so that's 546 divided by 8, that's going to be our second mark. Type that into your calculator and our answer for this is 68.25. And make sure that you leave your answer like that. Do not round your answer when working with averages, please. Okay, so we know that there are 3 types of averages. So we've currently worked out the mean. Next up then, let's look at the mode. To work out the mode, you look for the most popular answer or number in the data set. So remember, I always think about mode has got the letters MO in it, and that's the most popular, which has got MO in it. So that's a way of remembering what the mode is. Okay, so here we have an example. It says here is our bird nest data, and it wants you to find the mode. So the mode is going to be whichever one is the most popular number of eggs, so which would be 5, as there are 4 nests with 5 eggs in it. So our mode is going to be 5. Also, so far, all of the data that we've had has been in either numbers or words in a row. But you can also show data in a frequency table, and that's what we have here. So it's exactly the same as this data up here. Notice that we have 1 nest that has 1 egg in it, and that's shown here. 1 nest with 1 egg in it. And if we look at here, we had 3 nests with 6 eggs in it, and that's the 3 there with 6 eggs in it. So if you were asked to find the mode from a frequency table, again you need to remember that the mode is the most popular answer, so we'll be looking for the highest frequency, which is 4. However, the mode is going to be the most amount of eggs then, because that's what the data set has got here, that's what those numbers mean. So the mode is going to be the number of eggs, which is 5. And obviously the answer to finding the mode in the frequency table should be the same as the answer when you have got your data set like this. So far we've been finding the mean and the mode from quantitative data. But here's an example of qualitative data where we are able to find the mode. So mode is the only average that we can use when we have qualitative data. So here's an example. 8 people were asked what their favourite colour is. The results are shown below. Blue, orange, red, green, red, blue, black, yellow. What is the modal? Now that word modal means the mode. It's another word for meaning the mode, and notice it has MOD in it, so it's very similar to the word mode. So what is the modal favourite colour? So that's what's the most popular favourite colour. So we're looking at here then, you can notice that there are 2 people that had the favourite colour of blue, only 1 person had a favourite colour of orange, 2 people had a favourite colour of red, 1 person with green, 1 person with black, 1 person with yellow. So that means actually here there are 2 modal favourite colours, and you can have more than 1 mode. So you would write down blue and red. And at times that can be a disadvantage of the mode, because then it doesn't really give us much information about that set of data. Let's have a look at this exercise then. So this is a typical exercise that you'll be having on your online homework on My Maths. which we will be logging into at the end of this lesson. So again, if you can just pause the video, write out this question, or just write down the answers on a sheet of paper and then press play, and I'll be going through the answers with you. Okay, so hopefully you've answered these questions and now you're going to mark it. So let's look at this first question here. Find the mode of each group of numbers, which there are a lot of numbers here. So you may want to, let's look at this one. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 ones. And then what I may do then is compare each of those two. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7 twos. So that would not be the most popular number or answer then. Here there's 2, 4, 5. So that isn't going to be the most popular. How many fours are there? There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 fours. So far 4 is going to be the most popular number. And then there's 2, 4, 6, 7 fives. So again, there are more 4s than any other number, so the mode is 4. Okay, looking at these next set of data then. Now you may find it easier to put them in order, so maybe in ascending order first, and then that'll help you to group together. But looking at this here then, it looks as though the most popular number here is 63, I believe. So the answer there is 63. Looking at this question here then, we've got a frequency table where you're asked to find the modal golf score from this frequency table. Remember, for the mode, it's the most popular, so we're looking for the highest frequency, which is going to be 8, but that is not the modal golf score. The modal golf score is going to be 6, so we'd write that there. Looking at this graph here then, what is the mode score for this game? So here we've got bars that show the scores in a game. For the mode, it's the most popular. So we're looking for the highest frequency, the highest bar, which is this one here. But remember, the mode is going to be the score, which is 5. Okay, so what we are now going to do is we are going to log into My Maths, as we are setting you online homework on My Maths linked with these lessons. So there's also lessons on there. So I'll just log into that and show you what the homework looks like. Here we are then. So if you log into My Maths using the school username and password, and then log into your own personal My Portal. Remember, if you don't have your login details, please email me. My email is at the top of Study Zone, and I can get those to you. So if you want, you can click on the lesson, and that'll take you through some interactive aspects that I'll go through again, similar to what I have been talking through, and you can actually answer these here. So for example, there, if you put down your answer and then mark it, it'll give you interactive and immediate feedback then. But what I would like you to definitely do is to complete your online homework. Now your maths teachers are giving you feedback based on your online homework and are looking at your answers. So here, question 1 would like you to work out the mean, and then question 2 is very similar to that of what we've already done. Slightly different though, so don't just give the answers of what I have just been through. They have changed them slightly. And then click mark it, and remember to click save, and we can see how you are doing. Remember, if you would like any additional help, just give either myself or your maths teacher a quick email and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So stay safe and thank you.